Hello students, in this video we are going to study the scheduling algorithms. So there are different types of scheduling algorithms we are going to study. So in this, the first algorithm is FCFS, that is first come first serve CPU scheduling algorithm, or FCFS stands for first come first serve. So what is FCFS algorithm or FCFS CPU scheduling algorithm here? So first point you need to remember is we have studied already that there are two types of scheduling algorithms, two categories or two varieties you can say, that is preemptive and non-preemption algorithm. So this FCFS belongs to the non-preemptive CPU scheduling algorithm. So you already know that non-preemptive is nothing but when the process has been allocated for the CPU for execution, so no other process can interrupt or no other process can hold the CPU for its execution. So first process first executes it has to complete its execution, then the second process or the next process has to be allocated for the CPU for just its execution. So here it is going so in FCFS we are going to schedule the processes or the jobs according to their arrival time. So what is arrival time? So the time at which the process is going to be arrive in the ready queue. Okay, so first come first serve, that is FCFS algorithm, we are going to schedule the jobs according to the arrival time. So if the arrival time of a process is 0, then we have to consider for that job or that process for first. So now, so you can say the job or the process which comes first in the ready queue, they will get that process will get the CPU first, and if the lesser the arrival time of the job, it is going to get this as much as possible, it is going to get the CPU. So the job the process which is having the lesser arrival time, that is going to occupy the first CPU for its execution. So now what are the advantages of this FCFS? So we can say it is simple and easy to understand, because whichever the process is going to be arrived first, that we are going to schedule that process for the execution. So it can be implemented easily by using the queue. That queue you have already studied in a DS. So according to that the queue, we may implement this FCFS. So where a new process enters through the tail of the queue, and the scheduler is going to select the jobs or the processes from the head of the queue. So you can see here an example of this FCFS is, we are going to buy a movie tickets from a ticket counter. That is an example of a real example of this FCFS. So now we will see which are the disadvantages of this FCFS. So disadvantages, you can say, we are not going to consider here any burst time or the priority of our processes. Okay, and one more thing is, it is a non-preemptive algorithm that I don't have mentioned in this slide, but so already I have discussed this. It is a non-preemptive algorithm, means what? So whenever the process has been allocated to the CPU, it will never release the CPU until it finishes execution. So after finishing only the next process is going to be allocated for the CPU. Clear? So because of the non-preemption, if a process executes, suppose consider that if a process executes for a long time, because of it, suppose the process is having the lesser arrival time, okay, but its burst time is long, okay. So the processes in the back of the queue or the later or the further processes has to be wait for the longer time, okay. So this is one of the disadvantages you can say. So now one more thing is, FCFS leads to a convoy effect, you can say. What is the convoy effect here? It is a condition it occurs in the FCFS when one process is going to hold the CPU for a longer time and another process can get the CPU only when the process holding the CPU finishes its execution. So now due to this problem, the resource utilization is poor and also it affects the performance of the operating system. So what is Conway effect? I told it occurs in the FCFS. So when one process is holding the CPU for longer time and another process is going to another process can get the CPU only when that earlier process is going to finish its execution. So due to this, the resource utilization is going to be very poor and also it affects the performance of the OS. So these are the disadvantages and the introduction of a FCFS. So in next video we will see the very important, that is then example of a FCFS. So that is important here. Okay. Thank you.